so you're not counted. If your apartment's been deed-controlled, designed for 2 to share, but to make it affordable, illegally, 3 or 4 unrelated adults share it, what you're doing is illegal. You don't respond to the census, you're not counted. The official population of New York City is said to be 8.62 million, but some experts claim we've lost 1 million since 2012. The city's so expensive. Other experts claim so many people are now illegally sharing apartments because it's so expensive. The population's grown more than 10 million and maybe as high as 14 million. Tell me the political acts you had to grant, I'll give you the number you want, because I am the candidate running from politics. Thank you. To your right, a grayish apartment tower. It's called the Octagon. This luxury condominiums. The center tower has a flagpole in the middle and it has 8 sides. Now this is a rebuild of the New York Insane Asylum. We would have never known, starting in the mid-1800s, that they had begun to use prisoners to guard the mentally ill. Keep them quiet by any means necessary. And then, in 1887, a 19-year-old Pennsylvania farm girl sneaks in undercover. Elizabeth Cochran documented the abuse, viewed the lid off the scandal, launched worldwide reform for the care of the mentally ill. Real name Elizabeth Cochran, recently Christina Ricci, played her in a movie. It was on Lifetime. The film, her reporting name, Nellie Bly. Welfare Island's name was changed to Roosevelt Island to escape the past. The old asylum redone as luxury condos. You can't make this stuff up. To your left, Yorkville, also known as Germantown. Germans, Austrians, Czechs, Slovaks, Hungarian immigrants settled here. 180 years ago, poorest neighborhood in the city, 86th Street, 2nd Avenue.
Go downstairs
and about
really
the
good when you
March
be in the
growing up
front.
in poverty.
Yeah.
Today,
The
one of the
bottom
top
are good. At least it's all
10
the way down.
wealthiest zip
Privacy.
codes to live in the U.S. The Upper East Side's Yorkville.
Everything go here. Everything you do.
Old
even the
money
weather.
is here, the new money is near Central Park.
They should put it in the water, it's okay. Yeah, feed the fishes.
To our right,
Love
the lighthouse
food.
designed by James Renwick, architect of St.
vitamins.
Patrick's Cathedral.
What is
Stonemason
this, the
John
small
McCarthy, an inmate to the asylum, who
Like
insisted his
Alexandria.
alternate personality
How
be
about this
credited for
bridge?
building it. So there's 2 names listed as
That
Mason.
is the Triboo.
There's only one guy.
What's the name?
Triboo.
It marks
Where
the
is that?
waters we call Hell's
No, the
Gate.
bridge.
You're in the Easter.
Where's
That's
Triboo?
one side.
Oh,
Ahead
the
to
one
right,
before the
Long
ticket
Island
to the
Sound,
airport.
out that way, LaGuardia Airport.
But
City
west,
Field where the
south,
Mets
west,
play. The U.S.
west
Tennis
or
Open
east?
Stadium. Our prison
What's the
island,
name?
Rikers Island. We don't go there.
Eastern Parkway.
Ahead to the left,
Yeah,
we
I take you
all
from
go.
there.
Into the Harlem River and offshore to the
Triboo.
Hudson. Another
Okay,
time.
take you
3
like
tides
east or
mixed
west.
at Hell's
The
Gate.
west, east, take you to the airport.
Before September
JFK,
11th, New York's
LaGuardia.
worst tragedy, the burning of the General Slocum, was here. The documentary, the book,
I should
Ship
bring
Ablaze. Look it up.
you know, the
On the
one I
left
have
of
in
the
the
tree,
house,
the
but
white
the church
tent
should
blocking
bring
your
it.
view of Gracie
I
Mansion, the official residence of the New
I
York
don't see
City Mayor.
outlets, maybe down.
Once, the Walton Farm. Can you believe that?
Oh yeah, okay. Because your phone gonna die because video and stuff
Archibald
like that.
Gracie bought the farm to get his family out of Greenwich Village during a yellow fever plague. Later, his fortune was seized during the War of
Think it
1812.
could reach here? That
He
long
loses
one,
it for
right?
back taxes. And it's been the
It
home
can.
of the
Maybe
New York mayor
here
since
it can
Theodore
reach.
LaGuardia. All but one mayor has lived here. Former New York Mayor Michael
Can you hold it
Bloomberg,
until I
a
charge my phone a little
billionaire,
bit?
already owned a bigger mansion.
Before, because my phone died.
You ready for vote, Jill? Gentle with the mama.
One second.
Former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, a billionaire, already owned a bigger mansion in the same neighborhood. Mayor for $1 a year, 93 cents after taxes. They had to remind him to cash the check. He's the 8th wealthiest person on the planet. He's worth about $53 billion. You couldn't pay me $53 billion to be mayor for a day. Honestly. And on the left, a great example why. You see where they rebuilt a waste transfer station for garbage. That's what goes in the blue containers. Then it's taken to different states on the eastern seaboard that use it as landfill. The neighborhood wanted it shut down when the old one fell apart. But to appease neighbors, park amenities were included in the redesign because the city could not truck the garbage to Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, neighborhoods with high asthma rates, and not be subject to class action suits. But what was supposed to cost $41 million
Now
ballooned
phones are
out of control
dying.
to $220
That's it.
million. I love New York. It's hard enough keeping 400 some passengers on a boat happy, let alone 4 million registered voters. So don't forget, this fall and forever, I am the candidate running from politics. Thank you. To our right, Mill Rock Island, when the Army dynamited Hellgate, Mill Rock's went up on it, were rolled down and piled along the edge. In powder blue, beyond it, the RFK Triboo Bridge, and Aussies, you'll recognize the Hellgate Railroad Bridge. Your Sydney Harbor Bridge is based on it. It's 5 years older and less than half the size of yours. To our left, Metropolitan Hospital. Bottom left of the hospital, the Tri-State's largest mosque. This marks our entrance into Harlem. New Amsterdam, New Harlem, separate towns. New Amsterdam became New York City. As New York continued growing north on Manhattan, the wealthy kept selling their property, moving further north, making money each time. Well, here, speculators overdeveloped. Building owners were going bankrupt until persuaded to advertise to African Americans in the U.S. South via the new 1920s medium radio. Harlem became the center of African American culture, not just for our city, but for our nation. Gloriously prosperous in the 20s and the 30s. The Great
got all
Depression,
kind of
World
Arabic
War II,
notification.
racist,
You're gonna
city
turn off your
planning,
phone,
cutting
like
Harlem in
turn it
half with highways, you cut businesses off from customers,
Notification
both
from
suffer.
YouTube. You're gonna say,
Also,
I'm
late
turning my phone
capitalism
off.
abhors the vacuum it creates. Today, Manhattan's hottest
I don't
real
care
estate
what
market
you
is
want.
Harlem.
You said yeah, so I didn't have to look at your
We
own.
just sailed under the Ward's Island pedestrian
Look
bridge.
here, one
Vertical
side,
lift
it's
bridge,
safe for
the
you.
center section could be lifted if we were taller than 55
When we
feet
can
in
finish,
high
you take
side.
care of the videos.
Now, a nice
Okay, put me in the
isolated place
corner
to
then.
work, to your right, behind the
The
green
phone is over there,
fence,
it's okay. Late
the
charge.
stables are for therapy horses.
Thank you.
If a patient suffers a traumatic brain injury from cerebral palsy or autism, the patient can learn balance, build self-esteem, and
I'm
inroads
seeing
to
the sun.
communication. A
We're
strata
still in
therapy
the sun.
horse. Again, let them alone, but investigate if
Yeah, make
you
like a long one until
need
your
those
phone
services.
dies. At
Might
least
be one in your
15
community
minutes.
too. To your left, sloping red brick terrace buildings are the 1199 apartments. Hospital Workers Union, local number 1199, built these, partly to house members and an investment for the union's pension fund. In 1955, two state senators, Mitchell and Lama, wrote legislation where developers got tax breaks if they built middle-income housing. But once the mortgage was paid out, what, 20, 30, 40 years?
My phone in the
A
sun like
vacant
that,
apartment
it's just gonna
had
be
to
hard to
cross
go
the
mother.
agreed upon
Why?
rent trigger number to
You
become a
run into
luxury
many
rental
things.
or
I
sold
don't
as a
run
luxury
those many
condominium.
It's a computer.
Mm-hmm.
The valuation of the apartments affects the valuation or size of the pension fund. Who wants a big pension fund? Thus, we've lost more than 54% of middle-income housing in the city since 2012, apparently. Starting police officers, firefighters, and teachers are no longer required to live in the city. You can't afford to on the salary. Where will you be without enough middle-income housing in the city? To your right, Tan Complex, brown stripe down the face, the Manhattan State Psychiatric Center. You might recognize it from the film Conspiracy Theory. Hey, remember the movie or the television show, Fame? Behind the flagpole, that high school building has nothing to do with it. The only school I see with a flag flying at half-staff, I don't know the whole story here. But if science and math attract you like a magnet, you can attend. Is that the only school in that building? Not always in the city, stay tuned. What's been attracting students like a magnet next door, the shopping mall. The malling of America continues. To our right, Randall's Island. Carl Icahn donated the money to redo Downing Stadium. On your right, 1936. Jesse Owens, Louis Zamperini, and Marty Klinkman qualified for the Berlin Olympic team. You probably know Owens medals. Read the book, see the film Race. Louis Zamperini medals. Read the book, see the film Unbroken. Do you know Marty Klinkman? He's never got to compete. Hitler is so enraged this African American man medals. What will he do with the Jewish American Marty Klinkman medals? Look what Hitler did anyway. But when you hear a basketball announcer talk about a player driving down the lane, shooting from the key, swish, it's good, all terms invented by the first national broadcaster of a basketball game on radio, Marty Klinkman. The first TV host for the Super Bowl for NBC, Marty Klinkman. The guy who taught Bob Costas, Marv Albert, ESPN, Susie Colbert, and the late Frank Gifford the art of broadcasting. Look up Marty Klinkman. Left and right, parks and highways. How do I talk about Robert Moses? How do I not? Never elected building commissioner, created the title and power for himself. With no check or balance written into the legislation, Robert Moses did more good and harm to the city than any figure. Responsible for parks and highways we're blessed with, but they would still be the Brooklyn Dodgers. But Moses would not let the O'Malleys build a stadium in Brooklyn, where the Barclay Arena stands today. Building Queens to get nothing. In response, the team was moved to LA. Moses called this bridge Mighty Triboo. It funded the 39 and 64 World's Fairs. Our police boatyard is on the right, and then you see the inlet. Randall's Island ends, North America begins. The only borough on the mainland is the Bronx. The green railroad cars take trash out of the city. One train is a smaller carbon footprint, and fleets of garbage trucks on streets. We've cut our carbon emissions more than 65% since I arrived in '85. We're going to go under the Willis Avenue Bridge. The mechanism to your right can spin the bridge open 1/4 turn like a turntable or CD. It's not the lowest bridge we go under. To the left, East Harlem became known as Spanish Harlem when Hispanics settled here after World War II. Terrible timing. Just as the city is pushing industry entry-level jobs out, Hispanics and African Americans are moving in to a city exporting jobs. No other groups came to the city when that was policy. So although born in East Harlem to your left, former Secretary of State Colin Powell and actor Al Pacino were raised in the South Bronx to our right. Hoo-ah! Jenny from the block Castle Hill is J-Lo today, and worth $350 million. Bobby Darin, Dion the Belmonts, Billy Joel, Regis Philbin, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Comedian Robert Klein from the Boogie Down Bronx, baby. Left and right, economic empowerment zone till they reconstruct. We'll take the break. We'll pick it up at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Remember, if you cheer for the Yankees, or even if you don't, feel free to engage me.
This was bar number 6, guys. 5-1. Number 7.